Okay. So, yeah, I'm just going to, before we start, I'm going to do just a very brief explanation of what we're going to be doing. So, the main focus of this class will be yoga kriyas, and very brief explanation. So, most of the yoga that's popular now in the UK, in Europe, and America, all over the world, is in the culture of yoga, the tradition of yoga, what we call hatha yoga. So hatha means forceful, or sun and moon, and it's usually characterized by physical asanas, yoga postures. So the postures have become really the main focus in most of the hatha yoga classes that are around. But actually, when we look at the tradition of hatha yoga itself, there's much, much more to hatha yoga than physical postures. And we have pranayama, breathing exercises. We have mudras, whole body mudras, and mudras in the hands. We've got bandha, which are internal locks. And we've got meditative practices too. And what's really interesting is that the first part, in the later part of hatha yoga, so from the sort of 1600s onwards, we get texts like the Giranda Samhita. And within those traditions, the first part of hatha yoga was kriya. And you have kriya, and then asana, and then pranayama, bandha, mudra, and all these other things. Earlier on, asana tends to take primacy, and then kriya comes afterwards. So kriya was an integral part of hatha yoga. It was absolutely vital. Like, you wouldn't, later on in the tradition, you wouldn't start doing your postures and your pranayama exercises until you had done some form of kriya. So what is kriya? Kriya is a Sanskrit word, which the root is the K and the R, kra. And kra, whenever you see a kra in Sanskrit, it indicates some form of activity or action. So you get words like karma, krama, karma, action and reaction. A krama is a sequence of actions that happen in a certain order. So kriya, or kri, is an action, and a kriya is a specific type of action that facilitates the experience of yoga. And usually within the tradition of hatha yoga, kriyas are actions that purify on a physical, an emotional, and a mental level. Okay, and we start with the physical. So really, this is a very long-winded way of explaining to you that kriyas are physical purification activities. And in the tradition of hatha yoga, there are 6 main categories of kriya, 6 different forms. And within those 6, you have lots of subcategories. So in the Giranda Samhita, there are about 32-ish different techniques for purifying the physical body. Some of them are even like things like brushing your teeth and things that we naturally do anyway within our lives. When we look back at the older tradition of hatha yoga, like the Hatha Yoga Pradipika in the medieval period, some of the kriyas that we find are quite extreme, and they aren't necessarily things that we would want to do in our day-to-day lives. So they might be more suitable for full-on yogis that are retreating from the world. So things like ingesting, you swallow a cloth, and you do practices to sort of churn the stomach and take the cloth back out again, and you vomit salt water. Very, very extreme practices. So, but there are lots that aren't so extreme, and the way that I teach comes from my teacher, who's mainly Duncan Hewlin, and his teacher, which is his guru, was Dr. Pillai, who was an Ayurvedic doctor who lived in Kerala in the south of India. Now, Dr. Pillai, because he was a doctor, he recognized that some of the more extreme Kriya practices weren't necessarily harmonious to the body's natural capacity for healing. So he developed a very intelligent, I would say, system of Kriyas that can be practiced pretty much by most people, and they mainly use the breath and some muscular contractions, and you can get a really, really good physical purification practice without needing to resort to some of the more extreme techniques that we find in Hatha Yoga. They are Hatha Yoga practices, but they are drawn more from the later period, from the practices that we find in the Giranda Samhita. They're absolutely brilliant practices. So I do them myself most days. They're very, very good for stimulating the respiratory system, the cardiovascular system. They help to clear excess mucus within the body. They help to really boost energy levels and really just give you a really good energizing practice to get your day off to the right kind of start. And they have this sort of quite profound effect on the consciousness, which is the thing that I like the most. And I found that by doing these practices, even if I'm feeling a little bit low or a little bit down, or I'm feeling negative about things that are going on in my life, I do these practices and very quickly I can experience quite a shift in my mental well-being. So I can go from feeling quite negative to having quite a positive feeling instead. So absolutely brilliant. I hope that you'll give them a go with me and try them, see how you feel. Some of the things we do might seem a little bit weird, but keep an open mind if you can, and have a go. And the proof is in the pudding. So it's like, how do you feel afterwards? And most people get quite a experience almost immediately from some of these practices. They are contraindicated during pregnancy and also postpartum. So if you're pregnant, I would either tone it right down or maybe leave out some of the practices when we move the abdomen around. Also postpartum, women who've just had a baby have found some of the, especially abdominal exercises, aren't particularly comfortable or conducive. So those are the major contraindications. There are a few others, but most people will be aware of those things if that's them. So I think that's it. So Kriyas, purification, energizing, really, really good. Should we do them?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So Alison, I think you probably know what to expect. Peta, I don't know what your yoga experiences is already. If you've done a lot of asana type practices, this may be completely different. It will be completely different because we don't really do any asana. Might be a little bit of asana. But it's mainly breathing and moving around. And anyone watching on record, likewise, this isn't like a conventional yoga practice as many people understand yoga in its current manifestation in the West. So let's make a start. It's 10:10, so we've still got a good sort of 75 minutes. And what I'm going to do what I'm going to do with you, that's a terrible slip. is the standing sequence. So in the tradition that I teach from, the main practice is a sequence of seated Kriyas, which takes between an hour and 2 hours, and it's quite a long practice. So normally what I do is I teach the standing sequence first. So there's also a sequence of standing Kriyas that can be done really easily, and that's a sort of preliminary stage. You do those and get familiar with those, and then move on to the more advanced seated version. So we're going to be doing the standing sequence this morning. So before we do that, let's just start by sitting quietly for a moment. If you come into a comfortable asana, comfortable seat, and I'm kneeling, but you don't have to kneel. Could be cross-legged, could be anything you like. And if you lift up the shoulders, I can see my shoulder there is a little bit tight. Lift up the shoulders, roll them back and down, and then let them soften. And place one hand on your chest, the other hand on your abdomen, just above the navel. And then if you close your eyes and just pause here for a moment or two. And just become aware of your surroundings. So become aware of any sounds that you can hear outside, in the distance. Any sounds which are closer. Any sounds within the room that you're in. And become aware of the room, so the floor underneath your seat, the walls, the ceiling, and the space around your body. The air temperature, the air in the skin, and become aware of the body itself. And just take a scan through the body. And notice how your body feels this morning. Notice how your energy levels feel. So do you feel sluggish? Do you feel awake? Do you feel tired? And then become aware of your breathing. And without trying to control your breath, just simply notice the breath. And notice the quality of the breath. Is it deep? Is it shallow? Just watching the breath without doing anything with it initially. And what we find is naturally, every now and again, there's a tendency to take a slightly deeper breath. And then begin to take control of the breath by deepening on your inhale and lengthening on your exhale. And each time you inhale, really concentrate on the nose, the inside of the nostrils, and see if you can really savor the breath. So it's like you're drinking the breath in, really deep breath in through the nose. Long exhale. And the hand that's on the belly, now as you breathe in, try to gently push that hand with the belly as you breathe in. So as you inhale, the belly is going to expand consciously, moves away. And as you exhale, the belly softens once again. It's like you're inflating a balloon in the belly with the breath. And now if you make a gap between your lips, again inhale through the nose, expanding the belly. Deep breath in. And when you exhale, softly blow the air between the lips, long exhale. As you inhale, expand the belly, deep breath in. Exhale through the lips, long exhale. As you inhale, as deep a breath in as you can through the nose, expanding the belly. Long exhale with the lips. As you come to the end of that exhale, if you just let the hands fall into your lap, relax the hands and the arms, relax the shoulders. And now with the lips closed, just breathing deeply in and out through the nostrils. And again, notice how you feel. Notice how the body feels. Notice the energy levels, any change in your consciousness, how you feel in your mind. And then relax. Okay. So we're going to stand up. We're going to do a few preliminary exercises just to warm the body up a little bit. And then we're going to practice the introductory standing Kriya sequence from Dr. Pillai's Kriyas. So if you come up to stand, oh, my feet have gone a little bit numb. So you're coming up to standing. And one of the things I like about this practice is you don't even need a yoga mat. It's radical. Let's see if you can get a better. You can see my feet, or you can see. Okay. All right, cool. So I've just got a rug. So you don't even need a grippy mat. You can do these kriyas pretty much anywhere, anytime. You can do them in the shower. You can even do them when you're in the car, when you're stuck in traffic. They're very, very great because, yeah, let's just do it. So we're going to start with some simple warming up exercises. If you stand with your feet about hip distance apart with the feet pointing forwards, and just place the hands on the waist. So we're going to do some joint rotations, Karana movements. So we start by just gently lowering the head. Let the head hang a little bit and just start to breathe deeply. It doesn't have to be any mega technique on the breath at this stage, but just breathing fully, deeply. And we're going to move the head in a circle about 5 times. Just a really easy circle, so there's no straining there, there's no effort required. Nice and easy. And then the next time the head lowers, pause and try the opposite way. Nice to do these with the eyes closed. Gradually spiral the circle in, so we go a little bit smaller each time until we come to a standstill, and just notice how the head, the skull is balanced on top of the spine. And then take your awareness from the head down through the neck into the shoulders. And we're going to let the hands relax by our sides, and we just lift the shoulders up and roll them forwards and down. So some simple circular movements with the shoulders. Nice and easy. We go the other way. The arms can move, hands move. And then let the shoulders soften. Take the awareness from the shoulders down through into the arms. We're going to float the arms up in front, and just a few movements, or 5 movements from the wrists, going one way, the opposite way. Up and down. And then level. So we turn the thumbs out, bring the fingertips towards the collarbones here. And this one we do link the breath in, so it's a really good breathing exercise. We inhale, bring the elbows forward and up. Exhale, open it out wide, expanding the chest. Inhaling up. Exhale wide. About 3 more. Reversing, so we go the opposite way. Inhaling out to sides, exhale forwards and down. And then bringing them together and relaxing and just giving the arms a little swing up and down. Okay, so we're moving down now, bringing the hands onto the waist, take the feet a fraction wider than hip distance, and we make a lumbar rotation here, so the waist and the hips are circling. These are really good, simple warming up exercises. So sometimes they're called Pawan Mukta, which comes from Satyananda Yoga. And Pawan Mukta means gas releasing. So it's said to release trapped gas in the synovial fluid. So sometimes you get a buildup of nitrogen. And when you change the pressure of the joint, it releases the nitrogen. They're also really good for improving the mobility of the joints. And what they found, so you go the opposite way, is when you bring joints through complete range of motion regularly, the body actually produces more synovial fluid, which is the lubricant around the joints. And the quality of that synovial fluid actually changes viscosity, so it becomes a little bit thinner. Therefore, it becomes a little bit easier to move around. So the more we move the joints in these ways, the easier that becomes. If you go further back into the tradition, let's go the other way again, of Hatha Yoga. There's quite an obscure yoga manual called the Hatha Tattva Kaumudi, which calls these exercises Karana, with a C. So I guess it's Charana, actually. And in that text, they are prescribed as a preliminary for breathing exercises. So they're very, very good to do with these breathing kriyas. Let's go the other way one more time. Okay, and then spiral it in. So moving down to the legs, we're gonna just do a swing on the legs, quite good to get a hand on a wall. So you can do a relaxed swing. So we're trying to really soften this whole area here, just like a pendulum effect. Just swinging the leg. And then try the other side. Again, just really softening this whole area here. Okay, and then relax. So let's go to the right leg. We're going to bring the hands on the waist and just take a very easy circle here. So you can, if it's more comfy, you can bend the knee as you abduct and externally rotate. Some people find it easier actually not to bend the knee so much. And the idea is we're just getting a nice, comfy circular movement happening from the hip joint there. We'll try the other way. Place it down and switch to left leg. So again, it could be knee bend. Sometimes people find it more difficult bending the knee, lifting the leg higher. So there's more external hip rotation. With the less bend on the knee, it's more of an abduction, adduction of the leg. From the hip, of course, and then reverse. And then bring it together. So we got the legs together, feet together, bend the knees, drop the sit bones, place the hands just above the knees and do a little circle there. And then a circle the other way. Okay, come into neutral, turn the fingers in, so the thumbs are on the outside of the legs. Take a deep, so again, we're going to combine breath, deep breath in. As you exhale, squat down, bending elbows. So it's up to you how low you want to go. If there's less range in the hips, you could be going not quite so deep, but we inhale, straighten, exhale down, and keep it going. Good, and then coming up, hands to waist, raise the right foot in front and rotate. from the ankle, the opposite way, up and down, and then shake it off. Placing it down, raising the left, rotating the ankle one way, the opposite way, up and down, and then a shake. Okay, and bring it down. So we've moved the joints around, and now, before we get into our Kriyas, we're going to do a little bit of self-massage, what's called dough-in massage, which is a great way of in getting the blood circulating, beginning to warm up the muscles a little bit more, and to get the energy moving around. So very, very simple, very effective technique. We bring the right hand into a fist, like so, with the thumb on the outside. We're going to be using this part of the fist to sort of pat fairly firmly on different parts of the body. If you feel fragile, you could go really gently, quite nice, do gentle, quick movements. Some people prefer to really get in there and do quite firm patting, okay? So we start with the left arm out, right hand fist, coming in on the underside of the arm. If you start to pat, get a nice rhythm going, and just find how strongly you want to go this morning. And then what we do is zigzag up the arm, on the underside of the arm, trying to cover as much surface area of the arm as possible. So we're working up. As you come up to the shoulder, draw the arm back, get in under the collarbone, quite firm pat, and take a couple of deep breaths while patting. Go back, over, and then we're coming down on the top side of the arm, again, zigzagging. Down to the forearm, back of the hand, and we're going to switch it over in a moment. So the left hand's going to make a fist and go up the right arm, okay? So switching over, left fist, underside, zigzagging. Drawing the arm back, getting in under the collarbone. Nice firm pats, deep breathing. Coming over, down. In a moment, we're going to switch to both fists, and we're going to get in on the chest, ribs, abdomen, okay? Working down. Sides. Lumbar area, back of fists, lower ribs, lumbar. We're back around. Now we drop down, so like a squat. We're getting in on the quadriceps here, these big muscles, up and down. You've got inner thigh, you turn the feet out, you go in on the inner thigh a little bit. And the feet parallel, fold forwards, and accessing the back of the legs, the hamstrings, thighs, glutes. Back the way we can. We get the hands shake. Up to the top. To the side. Give the legs a shake one at a time. And then quite nice at this stage, just have a little jump up and down. Maybe throw the arms up to get all the energy moving around. Let's do a circle. Opposite way. Just do this for an hour and relax. Okay, so hopefully we feel a little bit warmed up. Energy's moving around a little bit. And now we're going to get into our main standing Kriya practice. So you may need a tissue if you haven't got one already. And another thing that I recommend, and this is really good at the moment because it's so mild for the time of year, if you can open a window because these are absolutely brilliant if you can get some fresh air with them. Another great thing with this Zoom media is at the moment with the global pandemic, I haven't been able to do these in classes because we yoga teachers have been advised against these in small groups of people because you don't want to be doing big powerful breathing exercises in a confined space with loads of people. So brilliant, we can do it on Zoom, so we can really go for it without worrying about who's around us or whose air we're going to be breathing and all that stuff. So if you start by just having a blowout, have your tissue somewhere ready. And we stand with the feet sort of good, hip distance or a bit wider. Nice, easy stance, maybe a bit of a bounce, a bit of softness in the knees, shoulders are relaxed, chest is nice and open. And the first 2 or 3 exercises are variations of Kapalabhati, which is one of the 6 groups that I mentioned earlier, the 6 main categories of Kriya. Kapalabhati is one of them. And Kapala is skull, Bhati shining, so shining skull breath. And there are loads and loads of different variations of Kapalabhati, and it can be done in lots and lots of different ways. We're going to do a few classic ways of doing it. So the technique is we breathe fairly rapidly, out and in through the nose. It's all done with the nose. And each exhalation is forceful and active. Each inhalation is passive. It's kind of like a reflex action. And each time we blast out through the nose, there's a really short, sharp contraction here in the upper abdomen. Okay, so I'll just demonstrate briefly. Okay, so you can see scrunching up my face. It's quite good to do that because you really, one of the purposes of this exercise is to get rid of any excess mucus. So you can scrunch up the face, and also each time I blast, this whole area in my abdomen is sort of moving back and contracting. Okay, the inhale is still there each time, but it's passive, and after a while you don't even notice the in-breath. It just becomes a reflex action after that strong, forceful exhale. So we're going to go for it. Let's go for about 20 rounds. Okay, so feet hip distance, soft knees, hands onto the waist, chest nice and open. Remember, the lips are closed. Forceful breathing through the nostrils. Okay, let's go for it. Deep breath in. Long exhale. Relax, breathe normally, and blow out if you need to. Okay. So we're now going to do the same thing, but through one side at a time. So we bring the right hand into what's called Vishnu Mudra. It has got other names, but that's the name that we use in this tradition. So we bring the right hand up like a fist, 2 fingers in towards the thumb, like that. A bit like what you do in Nadi Shodhana, if you've done that pranayama practice. And the thumb will close the right nostril and the ring finger closes the left. Okay, and we're going to blast out. So in the first one, we close the thumb over right nostril and it's a forceful exhalations through the left. And again, we'll do about 20 or 25, I think we did on the first set. Okay, so hands on the waist in the beginning, nice stance, a little bit wider than the hips, soft knees, open chest, right hand, Vishnu Mudra, thumb ready. Take a deep breath in, bring the hand up, close the thumb over your right nostril and blast through the left. Long exhale. Release, breathe normally, and blow out if you need to. Okay, same on the other side, hands on waist, right hand Vishnu Mudra, this time ring finger's going to close left. Deep breath in, bring the hand up. Closing left, blasting right. Long exhale. Release. Breathe normally, blow if you need to. Okay, now the third stage, we do exactly what we've just done, but we alternate with powerful blasts. So it's a bit like Nadi Shodhana. If you've ever done Nadi Shodhana, it's like that, but much faster and much more forcefully. So I'll demonstrate the full practice and then we'll break it down. So we alternate and we get quicker. So it's sometimes called the steam train because it sounds like a steam train getting faster. So I'll demo over sort of 30 seconds what we'll be doing over 3 minutes in a moment. So we get a rhythm first of all. And we speed it up. We slow it back down. And close to finish, hold for a bit, and release. Okay. So that's very, very quick demo of what we're going to do over a much longer period. The technique, and there is a technique, it's quite important to get the technique right from the beginning, is you close, and when you blast, it's a short, sharp blast out, and you start to blast out through the nostril, whichever side you're doing, ever so slightly before you release the nostril. Okay, so I'll just demo. So if I inhale through both, I'm going to do the right side. In right, close. Okay, so you start to blast and then release, and you get this short, sharp blast out. Okay, let's just try it, and we'll do a slow alternate sides. So if you get the right hand ready, Vishnu Mudra. Deep inhale, bring the hand up. Close both. We're going to go right side. Momentarily start to blast and then release right. In right. Close, blast left. In left. Close, blast out right. In right. Close, blast left. In left. Blast out right. In right. Blast left. In left for the last one. Close. Release. Okay. So that's the technique. I'm going to do the same thing we'll get a rhythm going, and then we're going to go faster and faster, like I did in the demo, like a steam train going off out away from the station. Now, everyone will have a different speed they can go at. I can do it very, very quickly because I do these every day. Other people won't do them as quickly, or you may be a bit bunged up, especially this time of the year. So don't worry about it, how fast you can go. Just get your rhythm. Once you've got that rhythm and we go off, just try to go as fast up to your maximum speed. And then we slow it back down and we finish with a long inhale and a close and a hold. Okay, so hands on the waist, soft knees, open chest, right hand Vishnu Mudra. We'll start together and then you go off. So deep breath in both. Close both. And like we did before, blast out right. In right. Close, blast left. In left. Close, blast right. Keep it going. Good, keep it going. So you've got your rhythm. Imagine you're a steam train and you're now pulling away from your station. So in your own time, begin to go a little bit quicker. Getting faster, 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 and faster. Keep it going. And for the next 10 seconds, go as fast as you can. That's good. Now, without slamming on the brakes, gradually begin to go a bit slower. So your train is going to the next station. We're going to gradually slow it down, getting slower and slower. Getting slower and slower. And it's up to you when, but the last breath is going to be in through the left. Really slow, deep inhale. We then close and we hold the breath just for a moment. And we draw the chin slightly down. It's called Jalandhara Bandha. It's one of those internal locks I mentioned. So just a slight lowering of the chin. We won't go into it too much at this stage. And then when you need to breathe again, bring the chin back into neutral, release, and exhale and relax. Breathe normally. Have a blowout if you need to. Everyone okay?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is a great practice for clearing the nasal passages. I won't go into too much detail on this, but if you're interested in these things, there is a whole tradition of yoga, which is what's called Swara Yoga, which is based on this interplay between the two sides of the nose. And what we find is naturally we have these cycles through the day. So I think it's 90 minutes where one side will be slightly predominant, will be clearer than the other side. It shifts over, you get a short period of time when you're sort of even, and then it shifts over to the other side for about 90 minutes. So the whole day you've got like this tennis match where one side is slightly clearer than the other. I'm sure we've all noticed that. What tends to happen though, for various reasons, is one side becomes more dominant than the other most of the time. And I know I get that, especially in the mornings. One side is usually a lot more dominant. So the practice that you've just done is particularly effective for very quickly bringing the swaras back onto an even keel again. So hopefully both sides feel fairly even. I think my left side is still a bit clearer than the right, but not as much as it was this morning when I woke up. And it's really interesting, like there's a whole science around it. Like you get up in the morning, before you get out of bed, you check which side is dominant. And it's like, if the left side is dominant, then you're supposed to get out of bed on the right side, or it might be the other way around. the right side's dominant, you get out of bed on the left side. And there's all these little things that you can do to sort of balance out what's going on. It's really interesting. So then what we're going to do, the next stage, is where it starts to get a little bit more interesting. It's a little bit stranger, perhaps. We bring in what's called Simhasana, the lion breath. So we're going to go back to both nostrils. We do about 20-25 pumps. We take a long exhale at the end. We then inhale, reach up with the hands, really deep breath in. And then the lion breath down, we take the tongue out. We do a big, powerful exhalation on the way down. So I'll just demo briefly. Okay. Whew. So this may seem a bit weird. You've never done it before. Have a go. When you take the tongue out, just try it. You want to really stretch the face. So I guess you could call it sort of stretchy yoga for the face. We've got all these muscles in the face, hardly ever get stretched. And we've all got quite a narrow repertoire of facial expressions that we use. So this is a really good opportunity to break out of that and to really stretch those muscles out. Some people say this, doing this regularly is like, gives you a natural facelift, because it really sort of begins to exercise those muscles that sometimes they don't really get used very much. So really opening it wide. It's a powerful exhalation through the mouth. And when you come down, bend the knees so you can fold forwards comfortably. We're going all the way down here. I like to rest my arms here. Some people like to rest them on the floor, whatever's comfy. And you're trying to get all the stale carbon dioxide out of the base of the lungs. So when you get to the end of the breath, you feel like there's nothing there. Just see if you can get that last bit out and then hold it there. Stop breathing. It's called kumbhaka. So it's an external hold of the breath out. You're not breathing at all for as long as you comfortably can, and then inhaling to come up. Okay. Should we try it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we won't do it with the pumps to begin with. Let's just do the lion breath on its own. So take a deep breath in and a long exhale. Now, inhale, reach up with the hands, deep, deep breath in, reaching up. Take the tongue out, and then big lion breath down. So coming all the way down, fold forwards, bend the knees, rest the arms. When you get to the end of the breath, hold the breath out for as long as you feel comfy to do so. And then inhale to come back up. If you feel dizzy when you come up, looking down at the floor will help to sort of settle again. All right, so now we're going to bring that back into our Kriya practice. So we're going to introduce or reintroduce, I should say, the Kapalabhati, and we're going to do 20 pumping Kapalabhati breaths first. So we're going to be here doing our long exhale at the end, and then we inhale up and we repeat the lion breath that we just did. Okay, let's go for it. So hands onto the waist, feet a bit wider than hips, soft knees. Let's do 20 pumping Kapalabhati breaths, both nostrils. Deep breath in. Long exhale. Inhale deeply, reach up, deep, deep breath in. Take the tongue out. Big lion breath down. Let's do that one again. So this time, I want you to make your Kapalabhati breaths a bit stronger. And we're going to introduce a mudra, what's called Shambhavi mudra. So Shambhavi mudra, we take the eye gaze as if there's a dot at the center of the forehead, and we take looking up towards that dot. So when we inhale, we reach up, we take the tongue out like that, and then we're looking at our imaginary dot there, and it's the same thing. All the way down here, resting the arms. And this time I want you to see if it's possible to hold the breath out for a little bit longer. And what you find here, there's a natural, of course, there's the nervous system wants to breathe, so there's a natural reflex to inhale as quickly as possible. But if you can overcome that natural reflex, actually you find you can hold the breath out possibly for longer than you thought you might have been able to. What kind of happens here is because you've been breathing very, very quickly and taking that very deep breath in, you've like flooded the organs with oxygen. So you don't actually need very much oxygen at this point because you've just done all these deep, powerful breaths. So if you get over the reflex, you may be surprised how long you can hold the breath out for. Okay, but obviously don't overhold. So if you don't do it so you feel dizzy or anything like that, just when you need to breathe, of course, breathe, come up. Okay, let's go for it. So hands onto the waist. We've got 20 Kapalabhati breaths to begin. Deep breath in. Long exhale. Inhale, reach up. Remember, eye gaze to forehead, tongue out, big lion breath down. And relax. And I'm just looking at the clock. So the next stage of this practice, there are 3, possibly 4 further stages. The next stage, we introduce what's called Uddiyana Bandha. So we suck the abdomen up and back behind the lower ribs, and then you've got Agnisara, pumping breath. The churning of the abdomen comes after that. And then you've got the Maha Bandha, where you bring in all the locks. And looking at the time, I don't really want to start on those practices today because they do require some detail in order to do them thoroughly. So I don't want to rush them. So what we'll do, we just do the practices that we've done already. We'll do them twice more. And we'll just add a little bit extra detail into them. So, yeah, hands onto the waist. And again, we're going to do this 20 pumps, long exhale, deep inhale, reach up, big lion breath down. And what we're going to do on these final 2, which I really like, is it's a little bit like primal therapy. So primal therapy, from my understanding, is you kind of you've got negative emotions and feelings and all kinds of stuff, and you just scream and try and release it. So it's similar to that, but you don't scream or anything. And the idea is when you do your lion breath, if you've got any kind of negative feelings inside, if there's stress in your life, there's stuff, we've got all this horrible negativity coming at us all the time at the moment with COVID-19 COVID-19 and all these lockdowns and pandemics and whatnot, and all the stress that that's bringing. So what we do is, that's just one example, it could be anything really, but when you come down, imagine you're taking all those horrible negative feelings and it's literally like you're vomiting it out. It's like you're vomiting it out onto your mat as you come down, get it all out, get all the dregs of the breath out, empty out the trash, get it all out, and then leave it there. Pause for a while, and then again, when you need to breathe, inhale to come up. Okay? Let's try it. So we've got 20 pumps to begin. Deep breath in. Long exhale. Inhale up. Let's do that one final time. I want you to really go for it on this one. So really strong Kapalabhati breaths. When you come down, really just releasing it out. So it's another good thing with being on Zoom. We haven't got to worry about being in a class and people around us, like no one can see. I can only see a tiny little square of pet and pet the, you know, I just go for it. So don't feel inhibited. Like if you really want to get stuff out, go for it. Okay, so start together, hands on the waist. Strong Kapalabhati breaths, deep breath in. Long exhale. Inhale, reach up. Let's go. So if we have more time at this stage, we do some asanas, maybe do a few other practices, but I want to give you a good opportunity to relax after these energizing practices. So if you want to just, in your own way, come down to lie down. And there's a few really nice things we can do to sort of unwind into relaxation. So if you lie back in a semi-supine position, bring the knees in a little bit, so you've got the arms, hands over the top of the knees, and just give yourself a little rock from side to side. Nice and easy. Maybe do a circle there. And a circle the other way. So it's good to do a couple of nice restorative asana before we relax. We just do a little twist and a little extension of the spine. So if you bring your feet down, the knees are bent, and just bring the feet over to the left a couple of inches. Press down on the feet, lift the sacrum up and bring the sacrum over to the left about 5 inches. Bring the knees in towards you and take your arms out to the side like a letter T. Whoops, I've got Buddha in the way here, but you get the idea. And then we're just taking the knees down to the floor on the right side and relax there. And you can either keep the arms as they are, or it's a soft right hand, just comes over the top of the leg to the outside of the knee, and it's that sort of loose, heavy arm is just encouraging the knees to the floor. And we're going to complete the twist by turning the head. So you lift the head a fraction from the floor, turn the head to look down the left arm. If the neck isn't comfy with that, you could just stay looking straight up. Otherwise, you're looking down the left arm, and it could be back of hand resting on the floor or palm down. And so just a restorative supine twist, which is called Jatara Parivartanasana. We're going to hold it here for about 5 to 10 breaths. And I want you to focus on your belly and your abdomen like we did at the beginning. And focus on taking really deep abdominal breaths. So each time you inhale, there's expansion in the upper part of the belly. About 5 to 10 deep breaths there. And then if you release the right hand, bring the knees back to the center, place the feet down, and just shift your sacrum back to the middle. Straighten the legs. To realign the spine, bring your arms by your sides, and as you inhale, sweep the arms back behind you, point the toes, reach into the fingertips. Couple of deep breaths there. As you exhale, bring the knees back, take the hands over the knees, maybe a little rock there. And we've got the same twist on the other side. So the feet go down, we walk them to the right a couple of inches, we lift the sacrum up, bring it over to the right about 5 inches, bring the knees in, arms out like a T shape, and then the knees are going to go left. I'm running out of space with this wall. You get the idea. The left arm is going to come over the top to encourage them to the floor. Mine won't go to the floor because the wall's in the way, but hopefully you've got more room than I have there. And if you lift the head, it's easier to then turn the head to the right. And you're looking down the right arm, resting the head now. Could be back of hands or the other way around. Relax the shoulders, particularly that right shoulder. And focusing on the abdomen again, deep abdominal breaths, 5 to 10 deep breaths there. Now the left arm goes out to the side. We bring the knees back. We bring the feet back to the middle.
Shift the sacrum back to the middle, and again to realign, straighten the legs, arms by your sides. Inhale, sweep them back, point the toes, reach into fingertips. So everything comes back to the midline again. And then exhale, bring the knees back in, and again a little rock, side to side. Our spine extension, fairly simple version of the bridge posture, Setu Asana. We bring the feet down, this time hip distance apart, out steps parallel with mat. Actually, at this point, a sticky mat does come in handy. I'm not sure how my rug's gonna be with this, but I'm gonna have a go. And we're just gonna inhale, lift the hips up, lift the spine up into the air. And you can either stay there or sweep the arms back again. Do variation of the bridge. I quite like to fold the arms behind the back of the head, and then we're just pressing into the balls of the big toes, pressing into the heels. Lift the middle of the bridge up, lift the pelvis up nice and high. And then we're just going to take 5 deep breaths there, abdominal breaths. On the last breath in, lift a little bit higher. And then as you exhale, you can keep the arms back as you uncurl the spine down slowly. And then release the arms back. Bring the knees in. Little hug. And the final asana is called Pavamuktasana. Well, I mentioned gas releasing Pavamukta on the joints. This is gas releasing posture. So you lift the head, you squeeze into a ball this time, trying to get the nose sort of towards the knees or in between the knees. Shoulders are relaxed. There's a nice hug there. You're drawing all the energy into the center of the body. Take about 5 deep breaths there. Maybe a little squeeze each time you exhale. And then release the hug. Release the legs. And relax and come into Shavasana, corpse posture. So either just lying in full corpse with heels shoulder distance, feet relax out a little naturally, arms out to the side, same angle as legs. Back of hands resting on the floor. That doesn't work for everyone though. So if you've got sort of any back troubles, you may prefer to bend the knees. You could rest the knees against each other even, or you could roll on one side. So the main thing is that you're nice and comfortable, because like any physical yoga practice, it's really important that we take time to relax properly afterwards. And talking about Kriya as a detox practice, well, the ultimate detox, as we all know, is rest and sleep. When we're stressed, the body produces lots and lots of chemicals, and it's the practice of sleeping, I guess you could say nidra is the yoga term, which enables us to prevent that from happening. So I would say sleep or deep rest is as important, if not more important, than all of these practices put together. So we're going to be doing 10-minute guided relaxation, or 5 minutes of guidance, and then I'll leave you to rest for a while. If you feel like you're going to get cold at all, do grab layers and socks, and then just relax. Make any adjustments you need to your position. Get comfy. If you relax your jaw, make a gap through the lips. Do a few releasing breaths to help us on our way. If you take a deep breath in through the nose, and then a long, releasing, relaxing breath out through the mouth. Breathing in through the nose. Releasing out through the mouth. Letting go on the out breath. One more time, breathing in. Releasing out. And then let it go completely. Let go of the breath. Let the breath do whatever it wants to do now. And let go of the body. Feel the limbs of your body resting quite heavily on the floor. Head is heavy, arms are heavy, legs are heavy, heels and feet heavy. And as the feet relax, become aware of sensation of space in the joints of your toes and between the bones of your feet. Space in the ankle joints, the knees, and space around the knees. Space in the hips and the pelvis. And space through the spine. Lower spine releasing. The middle spine releasing. And the upper spine releasing. The shoulder blades are spreading. It's like the shoulder blades melt into the floor. The arms are heavy. Feeling space in the fingers, the wrists, the elbows, and the shoulders, and the neck. Head is heavy, head sinks back. And feel awareness of the face. And feeling softness coming into the face. The brow softening. The eyelids softening as the eyes sink back. Softening the jaw, the lips, the tongue, the throat, and the chest. And resting in the center of the chest. Feeling awareness of space throughout the whole of the body. The whole body spacious and light. The whole body is relaxing. The whole body is relaxed. The whole body relaxing. Whole body relaxed.
Okay, and now start to bring awareness back to your body. The awareness of the arms and legs, hands and feet, your fingers and the toes. And when you feel like you're ready, maybe just give the fingers and toes a little wriggle. There's no rush. And perhaps moving wrists and ankles, flexing, circling. Circling both ways. So slowly reconnecting with the body again. And then if you bring your arms and your legs a little bit closer to each other, and with a slightly deeper breath, inhaling, sweep the arms up and back behind you. Point the toes, reach into your fingertips and just take a really nice big stretch out there. Full length toe to fingertip stretch. Whole of the body lengthening. And as you hold that stretch, take several really, really deep breaths there. And then relax again. We're going to bring the knees in towards the chest and carefully roll onto one side into the recovery position, whichever side feels natural for you. So you're lying on one side, sort of curled up in a ball, and just resting there for a few minutes, relaxing again. And when you feel ready to come up, carefully come up into a relaxed sitting position, ideally cross-legged. It doesn't have to be. And so these practices are, although they work with the physical body, they are quite a lot about moving energy around. And what's really nice afterwards when we come up is we want to lift the energy back up and wake up again. So we'll just do some self-massage. So if you just give the legs a little rub, like a stroke up and down. If you do one leg at a time. Getting into the feet, the ankles. Each leg. And then crossing the legs, we come in and give the palms a rub. And this is a really good one to do after the fist go-in that we did earlier. It's the same principle, but it's with an open palm. So we're going to take the left arm and just sort of firm strokes up and down. Underside and top side of the arm. Yeah, we're getting the blood circulating. We're also moving the energy around. And as you come up to the shoulder, we draw the arm back. And like we did earlier, we give the chest a pat. This time it's an open palm. And if you breathe really deeply while you're patting, it's very stimulating on the respiratory system. So a couple of deep breaths there. And then coming over and down, top side, back to center, up the other side. Drawing it back. Chest patting, deep breathing. Moving over and down. Back to center. Palming the face. Running the fingers through the scalp, just giving the head a little bit of a massage. All around. The top of the head. The back of the head. Sliding down the neck, giving the neck a massage. Down the chest and the abdomen. The sides. Leaning forward, lower back. And relax. Bring the palms together and interlace the fingers. Turn the palms away. As you inhale, lift the palms up. Chin slightly down, a couple of deep breaths there. Pushing up into the palms, lengthening through the spine, maybe a little sort of wriggle side to side. Feel the sit bones connecting as you push upwards. Deep breathing. Then on an exhale, release the hands and go wide. And we lean forwards to interlace behind. We draw the hands together and then down and away. We're opening the chest. So again, really deep breaths here. So breathing. And exhale. Release the hands. Relax the shoulders. Maybe give the shoulders a little roll back. And forwards. And we finish with an energizing mudra. So mudra is a gesture or a seal. It's kind of like an asana. It's like a posture in many ways. You get whole body mudras and hand mudras. But the main difference is the mudras are more about energy. And so the one we're going to do is called prana mudra. Prana literally is energy. So it means that which animates. And what we do is lift the arms up, open them out wide, spread the fingers, and close the eyes. And it's a wonderful mudra. It's this opening gesture. It's like we're opening our energy up to the universe. But we've also got this idea of we're drawing energy back towards us. So imagine you are literally embracing the sky above you. The sky, clouds, the sun, the moon, the stars. And take several really, really deep breaths there, drawing prana, drawing energy towards you. Deep energy receiving breath in. And then on the exhale, we're going to bring that energy together between the palms, above the head. It's like a ball of energy, we're catching hold of it. We then bring that energy down through the crown, the brow, the throat, and coming to rest in the chest, bringing the palms together, close the eyes. And just take a few moments here to pause and breathe and to reflect on your morning's practice. And maybe take a moment to thank yourself for taking the time from your busy life to work on yourself and to practice yoga. And also a good opportunity here at the end of the practice, especially on a Monday morning, is to take a moment to set an intention for the rest of your day and the rest of your week. What kind of day do you want to manifest? What kind of week and day would you like to have? And then we finish the practice by bowing to each other, Hari Om Tat Sat.